listeners, the Acorns program has been announced for 2023/2024, and some of you may be aware that it is a program to help women into business, run primarily by the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine. And I have Laura Bourke online now, and Laura is a person who went through this program, and she's going to, I hope, tell me how she got on in the program and the amount of help it was to her when she wanted to start up her business. And Laura is in business in North Tipperary. Good morning, Laura, and thanks very much for joining us.
Good morning, Jim, and thank you very much for your time. It's really nice to speak with you.
Okay, it's great. Thank you for your time. You're the one that's on on the spot now this morning, so and I'm quite sure we'll get on fine. So, Laura, when you first heard about the Acorns program, what crossed your mind?
Well, I suppose I set up my first business as fire recruitment in January 18, and I heard about Acorns during the early summer of that year. And the first thought that was in my mind was that sounded amazing, and oh God, would I even have a chance of getting onto it? So I didn't apply till actually the last week, and I think a lot of other female entrepreneurs who've been in the program have done the same, because it is super support to get, and it's a very daunting thing to start a business, and it kind of feels scary at times and also incredibly exciting. And to think that, there's a program there funded by the Rural Innovation and Development Fund through the Department of Agriculture, Food and Marine, as you say. I also saw their stand at the Ploughing Championship that year, and it gave a little bit more sort of reassurance around it, and because it just sounded really, really, really positive. So I applied and was astounded to get a place, honestly. Was so thrilled, and it was really at a brilliant time to start. I was part of the Acorns 5 programme, so obviously that was the 5th year of it in operation at that time, and very thankful to get that place, and certainly all of us are very grateful to the department for the support, because it certainly wouldn't be run without it.
When you were on the course, what did you learn from it that was so helpful to you in your business?
The key piece around it was the structure of it. Mm-hmm. So there's a number of more established business women that give of their time, and we call them lead entrepreneurs within the programme. I was lucky, all of them are fantastic. We've Anne Riley, Caroline Reedy, Deirdre McGlone, Emer Hannon, Larissa Feeney, Mary Walsh and Trina McGullery. Caroline Reedy of the HR Suite was my lead entrepreneur in the Acorns 5 program that I did. I subsequently did the Acorns Plus program a couple of years later under Monica Flood, who successfully sold her business, Olus IT Consultancy, in the early 80s, and also a super lead entrepreneur. Jim, I'd say the structure of it is great. So the first day that you go, all of the national events are held in Mullingar as a sort of a central location for the whole country. There was a huge sort of buzz of electricity in the air and excitement around all of the women in the room who have legitimately brilliant business ideas, and also some who are already trading, including myself. And you're divided into groups of 8 to 10, what they call round tables, and they're usually divided into areas close to you. So during the 6-month program, you meet with those 8 to 10 people on a monthly basis in a town sort of within an hour from your home usually. We did most of our meetings in Tralee as it happened, and it was really, really, really helpful. So the type of thing is you start out by, in your application of your idea of what your business plan is, and then it's broken down into different areas to cover, including finance or marketing, and developing your product or your service, and putting structures around things, and sort of putting a bit of shape around a business that really is essential in the early days. And just just remembering as well around ensuring adequate cash flow, collecting of money and so forth, that sometimes, people starting out in business can be a little bit shy about doing. And in between the month-to-month roundtables, there was regular contact with the rest of the other female entrepreneurs, which was also fantastic because they were in a similar stage of business as myself at the time, and we had often similar challenges that you could, tie in with each other and have sort of advice with each other and that shared experience that maybe your other peer group may not be able to offer you.
It sounds a bit like, to the ordinary farmer who might be listening to us this morning, our farmer's wife, a discussion group as well, but it seems to be at a much higher level.
Absolutely. My own husband, Colin Ryan, he farms, and that's where I've learned about it, if you like. And we all know how entrepreneurial farmers are, and a case of having to be and do very well in the area that they work in. It's not easy and comes with many challenges. For me, I feel it's about keeping as much entrepreneurial activity in rural areas as possible. And by encouraging everybody to have more entrepreneurial activity in their regional town and rural area, it keeps people in that area. It keeps activity in it, it keeps money circulating in it, and prevents the sort of endless commute of people out of that, or people moving out of it permanently. So I'm very passionate about it. I was president of Network Ireland Tipperary last year, and we've in excess of 70 members of female entrepreneurs all around the county. There is amazing business happening in County Tipperary. It's really only when you start to get more involved with it that you really see how much people are really putting their shoulder to the wheel in all aspects. And, like a program like Acorns recognises that effort and supports that effort with the participants so that they get the best chance possible to take their business to a much bigger scale. Like, if I could say to Jim, I was lucky enough to also do the Acorns Plus program, which you can avail and apply for after completing the first one. And again, that was fantastic, similar sort of structure, but it gave me the confidence as well to develop a second business, FlexiDesk, which is the first co-working space ever set up in Nenagh Town Centre. We've been trading just over the year, and it's about putting services in place for a very large population in Nenagh Town who do commute to Limerick and Dublin and all of those places, that can have that facility in their town centre as and when they need, without the commitment. So, purchase online for today, use it today, no commitment after today. It's very flexible. But without Acorns Plus and without the support of something like Acorns, I may not necessarily have done that, So it's about allowing female entrepreneurs to know they absolutely can do it. There's no question about it.
Your advice then, Laura, this morning, to anybody listening to us who is thinking of doing it, what's your advice?
Absolutely, just do it. So go to acorns.ie and you put in your details there, and Acorns, based in Malahide, they are super team, headed up by Paul Fitzsimons, absolutely fantastic. Orland Clodagh there are brilliant as well. They will send out the application form to you. And honestly, there's a number of us, and indeed, I'm happy even if anybody here listening today is interested or curious about applying, get in touch with me. My name's Laura Bourke at Aspire Recruitment. I'm happy to meet you for a coffee and talk you through it if you want, because we all need to be helping each other. It's challenging times. Costs are high, all of those things, and it's about keeping the entrepreneurial spirit going in the county, I feel.
Okay, well, look at Laura. Thanks to you ever so much for joining us this morning on Ag Report. That, listeners, was Laura Bourke telling us a little bit about the Acorns program. And if you have an idea and you want to join the program, will you ever make contact with Acorns? If you Google them, you will get their telephone number and their address.